Okay, everyone, welcome back. It was a long awaited break from podcasting, but we are indeed back. It is literally the end of July as we speak. This will go up literally, I think, in the last 5 days of July. Really, no excuse as to why I haven't done a podcast episode besides the fact that I've been crazy busy working like 50-hour work weeks. Oh wow. Am I going to be fighting the lighting today? But it's not a car coffee chat without coffee from somewhere. So I thought best way to come back would be coming back strong with one of my favorite coffee places down in the Outer Banks, Front Porch Cafe, and I got a salty beach with oat milk. Nothing beats it. It's basically a salted caramel shaken espresso, but they just called it a salty beach. I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. Literally, I love Front Porch Cafe. It's my favorite coffee place in the whole entire world. But let's get started. This week's podcast episode is about the 75 Hard and my personal experiences with it. I'm going to do a little disclaimer now that just because these are my experiences doesn't mean that everyone else shares the same exact thoughts, feelings, etc. About the 75 Hard, or did they even do the same exact regimen as me. But I'm going to go through bit by bit of what you're supposed to do throughout the 75 Hard and basically say what I did, any hardships I may have had, and then at the very end, I'm going to say things I think could have been added or replaced in the 75 Hard. So, the first part of 75 Hard is obviously the workout split. You have one workout outside and one workout however you want. Both of them have to be 45 minutes in length, and that's really the only protocol. So, I did a workout split in terms of my second workout that doesn't have to be outdoors. I went into the gym, and I'm going to not name what my gym is down here. But so I did going to the gym for my regular workout, and I hired my friend Marcita. She did great with it. I highly recommend her if you want someone to do a workout split for you. I'll tag her in the caption. But so my workout split was Monday is push day, so shoulders and triceps, and then Tuesday is pull day, so back and biceps. Wednesday is quads and calves. Thursday is full upper body day. Friday was glutes and hamstrings, and then Saturday and Sunday are like cardio focused days. So I was on the treadmill, Stairmaster, and bike, and every single day except for Friday and Wednesday, so my 2 leg days, I would do core, like a core workout to finish out the workout. This was a great split for me because it had me doing legs only twice a week, which in theory was good for me because I feel like my legs are just naturally more muscular. My arms take forever to tone. Like, even when I was dancing 35 hours a week, I wasn't having toned arms. Like, that just never, my genes just don't give me toned arms. So this actually got me like to where I could see a little bit of toning, and I'm still doing the Monday through Friday portion of the workout, but we'll also get to what I'm still doing later. So that was basically my workout that I did at the gym. And then for my second workout that had to be outdoors, what I primarily did was during the work week, so Monday through Friday, during my lunch hour, I would do a 45-minute walk. Because basically where I work, they didn't mind if I ate throughout the day. So that gave me my lunch hour to actually be able to use for my outdoor workout. And that was extremely helpful. It'll probably fall again is my guess, which is really frustrating. So for my outdoor workout, I would do an outdoor walk typically, but on weekends, once it got warmer, I actually would take my paddleboard out, which is what these are. This is straps attached to like a pad on top of my car that I put my paddleboard in. Once it got warmer, I did paddleboarding on the weekend since I was already doing a cardio-focused workout Saturday and Sunday in the gym. So then I was at least getting like a muscular, like upper body, also core workout as well, with that's the way the split ran. Next is my diet regimen. I did macro tracking. Macro tracking, the whole entire reason I did it was because I had a very, very unhealthy obsession with calorie tracking from the ages of like 12 to honestly when I was like a sophomore in college. I had a very obsessive take with calorie tracking, and basically I didn't have like a healthy mindset about it because it didn't matter what I ate as long as I stayed under the calories that I allotted for myself. And I would always allot myself for like 1,200 a day. And so I just really did not have a good outlook on in terms of like my relationship with food and like how it counted in total. Like I would eat pasta still till the cows came home, but I would have very little protein intake. So just not a very good balanced diet, along with just being really obsessive about calorie tracking. So for that reason, that's why I chose macro tracking, because I thought it would challenge my brain in a healthier way, in terms of looking at food and its numbers associated with it completely differently. So I did I filled out this online form, and I'll link that down below as well. And this online form basically was you put in your age, your weight, your gender, even though I will say it only has male and female. Your general goals and like how much you plan on working out a week. And from all of that, it gave me 149 grams of protein a day, 325 grams of carbs a day, and 69 grams of fat a day. This was so tough when I first started because I didn't realize how much stuff just had such high fat content. Because it was processed, for a lack of better terms. It was processed, so for that reason, it had a lot of fat to help basically keep it from not going bad. So that was definitely my hardest thing, but I will say it did get so much easier and so much better throughout the 75 days. So like, for example, at the beginning of the 75 days, I was like basically within 0.5 grams every single day of my fat content for the day. And like I was so under on my carbs and my protein intake, but then by the end I was like double digits under on my fat intake of the day and only like 5 grams of protein under, or even like I would be right at 149 grams of protein for the day. So it was definitely a big learning curve throughout the 75 days that I really needed to just learn and see and look at the nutritional facts. And I made sure of it to only like look at the nutritional facts and not look at the calories associated with all of it. And I feel like that really helped me create a healthier relationship with food in general. And so for that, I am very thankful. And it wasn't easy by any means, the diet regimen. In my opinion, it was the most difficult because also you couldn't have a cheat meal and you couldn't have alcohol, which like the second part makes me sound like very odd, but it's like I live at a beach, and so I am literally going to kill this stand. Yeah, so I'm in a beach town, and so for that reason, whenever I go out to eat, all I want is like a cutesy little beach beverage with my dinner. So that made it really difficult, especially because like I'm lucky where the town I live in does have a lot of healthy options when it comes to food, so I didn't feel like I had to limit to just making my food. I definitely saved a lot of money. Like once I ended the 75 hard, I have been spending so much money on takeout, and it's honestly kind of bad. So I'm like, I may go back to the diet regimen, but we'll get to that in a second. Next, a gallon of water a day. Now, technically I did do this, but I did not like it because basically a gallon of water a day, like, yes, drinking water is better than drinking like other things, but at the same time, you're not actually absorbing any nutrients. You're just literally like flushing them all out at that point. And so I don't know if I'm talking a bunch of hoo-ha right now, but like that's how I kind of feel, is like there are water absorbed nutrients that you basically can, I don't know. I'm actually just not going to talk on that because I don't have a science degree. But I know that I tried my hardest to drink a gallon of water a day, and I did it. I didn't like it. We're not really going to talk that much about that. 10 pages of a nonfiction book a day. So this was actually challenging at times because I am a fiction girly till the day that I die. And when I say that, I mean like just nonfiction can get so boring sometimes, especially depending on the nonfiction you're reading. So for example, I read 4 different nonfiction books, and 3 of the 4 of them were focused on creativity. And one of them was focused very primarily on business. That business one, oh my God, I dreaded reading those 10 pages a day because the font was like this big, and like it was just so boring. Like, I'm sorry, but I need something to keep me engaged, and like the only time I was engaged was when they talked about the Walt Disney Company, because that's something that I'm actually interested in. Along with this, my creativity books, a lot of people could say that was a form of cheating because it wasn't true nonfiction. It was talking about how to build your creativity and challenge it and everything, and if you're in a rut, how to get around it. So I saw it as nonfiction. But yeah, I read 4 books. One of them took me forever to get through. Another one, so the very first one I read was The Courage to Be Disliked, which you could say is borderline on the nonfiction realm. But I see it as like a self-improvement nonfiction book, even though it's telling it through a story or helping you through a story, if that makes sense. The whole entire thing with this is the fact that it's a conversation between a young person and a philosopher, and that one was really good, but it did take me a really long time because the version of the book I bought, I genuinely do not think the person did a read through to make sure everything translated properly, or at least made sense in the translation, because there were so many times where I would have to go back and like actually read it maybe 4 or 5 times to actually get what they were trying to say. And an example of this is like it's a very stupid example, but at the very end it was like, oh, you're just deserts. And it's like, if someone actually did do a read through, they would have realized that like the Google translator that they probably used changed desserts to deserts and would have made that change. And so that just proved to me in a way that they didn't actually read through to see if the translation actually went through properly. So that was kind of annoying, if I'm being honest. But all that being said, that was a really good book. The next book I read was Big Magic, and it was good. It definitely talked a lot about like how the brain works in terms of like creativity and everything, and like just the author was talking about her personal experiences with creativity and how she is an author. She writes, she's a writer, and so she was just talking a lot about her personal experiences, and it was an interesting book, but it wasn't my favorite. There was another book, of course, my favorite book I'm blanking on, but the last book I read, the business focused book, was The Infinite Game. Like, yes, I learned so much from it, but I just dreaded reading it every single day. Sorry, I just got a text. But yeah, so that was the non-fiction books that I read. See, now it's going to bother me that I don't remember what the other nonfiction book was, so I'm literally going to go on Amazon because I ordered them off of my dad's account and I have it on my phone. So I'm just going to go through track your orders. I ordered like 10. I'm being over dramatic. I ordered like, oh my gosh, it's going to take forever to load because it's just loading one at a time. And I ordered these back in like March. There is another one that I really want to try. Like I'm going to be trying it on or eating it. No, I'm going to be reading it. There is another book that I really want to order that's a nonfiction book that I may do soon. Oh gosh, my camera's overheating. Yeah, that's the other problem is that what it is? Yeah, okay, so we're going to turn my car on so that hopefully my camera can get cooled off a bit. And we're going to cut for a quick second. Okay, we're going to keep my car on. But I found the book. The book that I'm talking about is The War of Art. It was so good. Breakthrough blocks and when you're in our creative battles. It talks a lot about basically like writer's block or creativity block and stuff like that. And it just gave me so many ideas in terms of content creation. Like, I just really cannot recommend it enough to anyone who is a creative. And I use creative very loosely. I think everyone is a creative in their own mindset. You're just creative in different ways. Like, for example, my dad is a analytical scientist. I still think he's a creative because you have to have creativity to be able to go around in roundabout ways the way that he does with his job. So I really think creativity is a mindset. It's not like an actual person, if that makes sense, or type of person. I think everyone has creativity. It just comes out in different ways. Wow, I just low-key ate with that. Anyways, but it really talks a lot about stuff, and it's weird because I feel like that one also tied a lot to the courage to be disliked. And when I say that, I mean like the courage to be disliked, one of the biggest things was like, just don't care like what other people are going to think and say and everything about you. And like, I so agree with that because that is one of your biggest barriers as a creative or being creative, is when you care about what Sally Sue down the street is going to think about you. And like, when you care about that, you're actually hindering your creativity, and it like stops your progress in that like realm so much. Whereas when you just stop caring about what like every single person that you know personally or don't know is going to say about you, when you start putting stuff out there or when you start like showing your creativity, once you stop caring, like, it's so freeing. Like, I cannot tell you all how much, like, I don't want to stand up on a soapbox and be like, I am the pillar of creativity, because obviously I am not. Like, oh my gosh, what is happening to my camera? There we go. But like once I genuinely stopped caring, that is when I feel like a lot of my content creation, I don't even want to say took off, but like I started seeing the numbers get better, if that makes sense. Like yeah, people will occasionally be like, "Oh my gosh, I saw you on TikTok." And it's like that awkward thing where it's like, "Haha, like cool." But genuinely, it's like, yes, it's awkward when they bring it up to you, but like I have to remind myself, if they're interested in my stuff, they'll tell me, and if they're not, then they're probably not going to bring it up. And if they do bring it up just to be like, "I don't like your stuff," then they're weird and rude and they don't matter. Like if people bring up stuff to you just to make fun of you in front of your face, they don't matter. They don't, and they have obviously bigger fish to fry internally in their own mental issues. I know that sounds really harsh, but it's the truth. If people bring up stuff to you just to make fun of you in front of your face, they have bigger mental issues to fry than bringing up your own creativity and your own fun and how you live your life. Just being frank. And yeah, that is honestly my thoughts on that. Really roundabout way to say I read 4 books that are nonfiction during the 75 Hard, because I hate reading exactly 10 if like a chapter or something doesn't align with it. So I would sometimes read more. I would never read less than 10. I would always only read more than 10. So I definitely read over 750 pages over the course of those 75 days. But the exact number, couldn't tell you. Last part of the 75 Hard was taking a progress picture. Me personally did not take a progress picture every day. And some of you may say, "Caitlin, then you didn't actually do the 75 Hard." And to you, I say, you try and do all of this with a 50-hour-a-week job and come back home before it's dark out to take a progress picture with natural lighting. Go ahead. You try. But so with that, I took progress pictures at the start and the end, obviously, and then I took them every quarter. So 25 days and 50 days. I took one at the halfway point, so like 30 something odd days, or 40 something. I don't remember what exactly half of 75 is at this moment. It's 30 something. I'm already correcting myself. And then I also took one like 2 weeks in. So I took intermittent progress pictures, but I was not going to take a progress picture every day. And so besides the fact that I was working a lot, my whole other reason is because behind the reason why I started the 75 Hard in the first place and then completed it. I did it because I wanted to do something that was going to hold me accountable to actually start a workout regimen and start a healthier lifestyle, because I kept on just saying, "Oh, I want to be healthier. I want to do a healthier lifestyle. I want to get in the gym," but I actually wasn't doing anything to actually start it. And so the 75 Hard, it sounds like oxymoron, if you will, but that was the easiest way to start doing a healthier lifestyle for me. And when I say that, it's fully because like I need something to hold myself accountable, like a 75 Hard. Otherwise, I'm not going to stick to it. If I just start it and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to start this," literally a week and a half later, I'm going to end it and be like, "Yeah, no, I stopped it." So 75 Hard, it helped me stay on a regimen that I had to hold myself accountable for. And sharing it on social media also made me hold myself accountable for it. So it wasn't any vain reason, if you will, as to why I started the 75 Hard and completed it. I didn't do it for vanity reasons. I did it simply because I wanted to build myself a healthier lifestyle and schedule for that reason. Oh my gosh, I'm realizing how many cuts I'm going to have to make because I just stop as if I'm talking as if I'm a robot. So yeah, that's why I didn't take progress pictures every single day, because I was like, I'm not about to do something that isn't the reason why I'm starting the 75 hard in the first place. Sorry, I see like 2 little baby birds right next to me. I think one of them is like a blue jay or something. Okay. So, I guess we've kind of already talked about then why I need, that's all the rules for the 75 hard, by the way. We kind of already talked about why I do the 75 hard, or why I did it. And then my progress can be seen on my TikTok, on my Instagram. I did a true progress like video though on my TikTok. Of course, I had to re-upload it because TikTok shadow banned it. Because, you know, I have a body. I am a grown woman that has a body. And it got shadow banned for that reason, so I had to re-upload it for it to actually show up on my account. Next are things that I think could be added to the 75 hard or replaced with something else. But let me take another sip of coffee. Okay. So, something I think could be done instead, or added to, is switching off. I like the reading of a nonfiction book. Do not get me wrong. I like the reading of a nonfiction book. I think something that could be done either with it or in supplementation of it is journaling. Even if it's like, 10 minutes of nonstop journaling. Because I think this process is really about your mental toughness and your challenging of your health, if you will. And so your mental health is something that is obviously very significant throughout this whole entire process. And so for that reason, I think journaling would actually be a very healthy addition to this. Because I got lucky where I basically just did an online journal, if you will, on my TikTok about like everything that I was doing. But like, I think journaling really helps people actually process what they're going through and like see how far they've come along, if you will, and be able to reflect. And I think the reflection is a very important aspect, especially with something like this, because you are doing something very intense. And there is something to be said about just sitting and writing everything down that's in your mind, even if it's for 10 minutes. Like just 10 minutes of nonstop journaling. So that's something that I really think could be added to the process that would really help people maybe stick with it, or even just help people learn new aspects that they may like about like health. And because I do feel like journaling is a part of mental health. And yeah. Next, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I do genuinely think active recovery days need to be built into the 75 hard. A lot of people could say that this goes against what the 75 hard is, but basically I personally think recovery days are very significant and important with your workout regimen. I say that because you don't get a chance for your body to necessarily take a break, quote unquote, with the amount of working out that you're doing. Like, you're doing 2 separate 45-minute workouts a day. Like, that's a lot on anybody, even the healthiest of bodies, even athletes. Like, what in the world is happening around me? Whatever. I do think those could really help people. And when I say recovery, I even mean active recovery days. So an active recovery day could be like just going on a walk, or maybe restorative yoga. So you could argue that people could build those in, but the 2 45-minute workouts a day, it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do to get around, you know? And so that is something that I think really should be thought about as well when you're building out your workout regimen for the 75 Hard, is being very purposeful in your workout planning. Worth noting, I mean, you can take it with a grain of salt or completely ignore me, or not even watch this all the way through. Totally up to you, obviously. I will say, I said this disclaimer in the beginning and I will say it again. Just because it worked out for me doesn't mean it's going to work out for you. Everyone's body is different. Everyone's, everything is different. Just because this workout regimen, this diet regimen, these books worked for me and I liked the process because of this, doesn't mean it would work for you. And I think a lot of people think, especially with working out and diets, it's a one size fits all, and that's just simply not true. I mean, to be frank, I can't have dairy. That's just a simple example. I can't have dairy, I can't have soy, so that cut out a lot of things for me that I could have that would have made my lower fat intake super easy. It would have made so many things so much easier for me if I could just have dairy or soy. And I just couldn't. That's just because that's how my body is made. That's my genetic makeup. And I can't do anything about that, so I just have to work around it. So that's just a weird, silly example, but it's just something worth noting that, it's not a one size fits all. It's also when people say, oh my gosh, how did you get your body like this? I would say, if anything, my body just became more toned. It did not magically transform into something else. And that's where I think a lot of people also get misconstrued in a way, is because they think they see these influencers. I'm not calling myself an influencer. I'm just speaking about what I see. People see these influencers that are so fit and everything, and then it's oh my gosh, drop your workout routine, drop this, drop that. And then they post a picture or video with their mom or with their dad or whatever, and it's they're built the same exact way. So it's okay, well, that's obviously genetics. It's obviously genetics that someone is built very small in the waist and then they have a large butt, if you will. That's just genetics. Yes, you can supplement your genetics with a workout regimen to make it more pronounced, but you really have to look at the rest of the family and be okay, if the rest of the family looks like this, it's probably genetics. They're not all doing the same exact workout regimen, especially the mom that's 30 years older than the child. Or not 30 years older. You all get what I mean. But that's just something that I think a lot of people need to keep in mind, is genetics plays such a big role in terms of your body and how you work out and everything. No matter what, I will never have my dream body, because my dream body is just simply not achievable for me. To have my dream body, I would have to get a breast reduction. I would have to get fat taken out of my arms. I would have to do y'all get what I'm saying? It's so unfathomable. Oh my gosh, why have I had such a hard time with this word recently? It's so unfathomable, how much people harp on themselves and harp on other people because they don't have a very specific body type. And it's like, even some of your favorite influencers have admitted to getting work done to be able to achieve that body type. Like, yes, they may work out in the gym now, but they got work done and then they went to the gym. Like, they didn't get that body because of the gym. You know what I mean? And that's not any shame on anyone that gets work done. Like, trust me, if I had the money, my arms would be so much tinier, like, if I had the money, but I don't. And so it's like, I don't know. This is turning into one big, like, showing and telling what my bodily insecurities are. But, you know. Anyways, I think this is a sign that I should end the podcast episode here because I don't want to get on another soapbox. Because this is supposed to be about the 75 hard. And yeah. So, anyways. Yeah, that was my experience with the 75 hard. Obviously, anyone is more than welcome to reach out to me if they want me to answer any questions about the 75 hard, any advice that I could give. Even though I feel like everything that I could and would say is in this episode. I don't know. But yeah, if you want to reach out to me, my socials will be down below as always. The person who made my workout regimen, her social will be down below. Like, her workout page will be down below. And also the website I used for macro tracking will also be down below. Yeah. So, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I'm going to be honest, I don't know when the next one is going to be. I'm not going to pretend like I'm going to have an exact date for you all for the next one, especially because since I'm kind of alone on this island, I don't really have someone to be a guest on it. Yeah, okay. Anyways, see y'all later. Bye!